Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today we're checking out some more cases for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So these cases have been sent out to me by a company called Peakzooc. So we'll take a look and see what they offer. Now, I've not actually seen these cases. I've not opened them or anything. And from their email, they did say that they only have two variants. So these are the two variants that they've actually sent out. So we'll get them unboxed and then we'll take a look. Okay, so this is how they come packaged. So just a simple plastic sleeve. Okay, and we can see that the back is a hard shell plastic and the sides are a TPU, but they do actually have quite a lot of details contained within the case. So let's just get the other one opened as well. Okay, so that's the two cases. So as you can see, same design on both. One is more of a clear one and one is more of a smoked clear. So both of them have exactly the same dimensions, same details on the case. It's just the white one, you just can be able to see them a little bit better. So we'll take a look at this one first. So firstly on the back, there's a lot of details in terms of just design. So none of this actually affects the case. It's simply just there to look good. So this is to kind of mimic a see-through iPhone or a see-through phone. And one thing that I do like straight away is the closed off camera bump. So there's very minimal area that you're going to be actually exposing to the elements. So you do have the MagSafe magnets along with the alignment magnet there. Now straight away I can see a problem because looking at this, it looks like they're going to be covering the Apple logo. So we'll get it on the actual phone in a second. Having it slightly smoked probably helps towards that, but I do not like cases that cover the Apple logo with the MagSafe ring. Yeah, so on the side, this is a detail that I've not actually seen before. So where they've got the camera control button, you can see the actual, because it's so see-through, you can see all of the little dots, all the little sensors that they're actually using in order to make that button function essentially. So you can see there all of those little gold dots, and you can actually see them on the outside as well. There's a lot of grooves and little design elements on the inside as well as pockets in all of these corners as well. And yeah, so all four corners have little air pockets in order to help with any drop protection. And then on the inside you can see the sort of design element continues there as well. So they do have a little bit of branding on the inside on the MagSafe magnets themselves. Now just looking at this, so the MagSafe magnets are slightly below the plastic of the actual case, so they are inlaid into the case. So I can feel a little lip just there and also there. So the magnets are actually further in and shouldn't actually be touching the back of your phone. On the opposite side, you've got sort of silver accent buttons, but these feel plastic. They do look like they are all floating buttons, so they should give a very good tactile click. And then on the bottom, just openings. I thought these might have been lanyard holes for a second there, but yeah, that's just part of the actual design as well. And then your opening's pretty wide at the bottom. In terms of the design, so the sides are pretty flat and then the corners are bulging out. The back is completely flat, so when you lay this down, there will be a certain percentage of this that is actually touching the surface, but the camera bump will take up most of that because it's raised higher. So let's get this fitted on the phone. And there is the first look. So straight away, in terms of the protection, the only thing extra that they could have done here would have been to actually cut around the cameras, so similar to what they've done with these sensors, and just have that completely closed off. But yeah, that's literally the only part that's still exposed. Now in terms of the MagSafe magnet, as you can see there, it is covering the Apple logo, but like I said, because this is smoked more so than normal cases, it's not as noticeable that you are cutting off the Apple logo. And obviously there's a lot of intricate details going on with the case as well, so I don't know whether that helps or makes it worse, the fact that they've kind of cut off the Apple logo, the fact that you can see some of these details. Now one thing straight away, I think this case would have actually worked better if there was a properly clear version, because a lot of these details you can't actually see them to the naked eye that well in this lighting anyway, just because of it being a smoked finish. I think these details would have looked better either on a clear case, or possibly they might look better in direct sunlight. In terms of your buttons, so power button, yeah, because it's floating, is very tactile. Camera control is working perfectly fine, and all of those little sensors do the trick in terms of transferring your inputs to the actual phone itself. Volume up and down and then action button all work perfectly fine. Your openings at the bottom, you can see just there. The USB-C cable is actually a little narrow, so I think that you might actually struggle with some USB-C cables. Having said that, I only ever wirelessly charge my phone anyway. Now, one thing that I have been testing with all the case reviews that I've done lately is the MagSafe strength, and yeah, this is pretty strong. It's not the strongest, so it will still come off, but it's not going to come off by accident. Now, the other thing that I have noticed, having done a few tests now on cases that I thought should have performed better, was sometimes you can get a misalignment. And yeah, this case doesn't really suffer from that. But what I found is with Kevlar cases in particular, sometimes because of the material, you can stick on when it's not actually properly aligned. And yeah, this, as you can see, it does drop off, but it does take quite a lot of force for that to happen. It's not going to be falling off any mounts, any chargers on its own. It's only going to be a very, very severe shock that's going to actually make this drop off. Okay, so overall, yeah, you're getting very good coverage. You're getting decent grip, but not so much on the sides. So this side material, as you can see, is the same material as this back bit. And because it does have that slight matte coating, it's not as grippy as these corners, for example. But there's a lot of different elements to it. So your buttons are shiny, so they give a little bit of grip. Yeah, overall it's not too bad. I'm not a fan of the Apple logo being covered, and it is adding a slight yellow tint to the actual phone in person. Because of that smoked finish, it's adding a tint to the actual phone itself. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual smoked version looks like on the phone. Okay, so now for the smoked version of this case, and yeah, for me personally, that actually looks better. Because that is so close to, it's not quite clear and it's not quite fully smoked, this one does actually look better, and you can actually see a lot of the details a lot better as well. For example, the camera surround. On this one, you don't really notice that there is the extra raised lip, whereas on this one it is very obvious that yeah, you do have that raised section on the actual camera surround as well. All of these details, because it's contrasting with the phone color, I think they pop a little bit better. I think this would work better on the blue and the orange, whereas this one will work better on the silver. So all of those little floating details, as you can see, they look a lot better. The sides aren't smoked, so the sides actually look identical in terms of the look, the feel, the fit and finish, but it's just mainly the back that does give you that slightly different look compared to the clear version. And just to be sure, we'll test the MagSafe on this one as well. Yeah, it's not going to be falling off automatically, and it's pretty solid, to be fair. A lot of times when you have matte cases, they can suffer from being more slippery, and that can diminish the strength of the actual MagSafe, but both of these actually perform quite well. Once again, as I mentioned before, because this one is more smoked, it's only under certain light that you can actually see the Apple logo. So for me right now, I can just about see the Apple logo, and because it is darker, you're not noticing that they've kind of cut off the Apple logo halfway quite so much. So for me, this one's the one I would get if I had the silver phone, and for any of the other colors, the blue or the orange, I would probably suggest getting this one. Yeah, so overall, two pretty nice cases. Out of the two, I would prefer the darker smoked version for the silver iPhone 17 Pro Max. I will have links in the description below, so if you're interested in purchasing, you can use those. I'll try and get you a discount code and drop that in the description below as well. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I really appreciate if you can also give this video a thumbs up, and until the next one, thanks very much for watching.